Discipline, I believe, is a seed that is sown from motivation, but that seed will not grow unless it is cultivated and nurtured. And so, if you're not adding repetition and consistency to that, you won't have it at all.
You got challenges that you're going to run across.
They're thinking about their marriage. They're thinking about their money. They're thinking about their lack or their struggles. And then when they meet you, they're like, "Oh, Mr. Fleming can help me with my stuff." They don't care about yours. And then they come and say, "Well, Mr. Fleming, what do you think about?" And then when you say that, when they ask you the question, then you're able to tell a story that leads them to principles that they can apply in their lives.
Okay, so I had like a little struggle with wanting, because the person that's helping me wanted me to put my picture on the book. I didn't want to have my picture on the book. What do you think about that?
Yes, use your picture, especially your first book.
Why?
Because don't nobody know you.
But they don't want to. They don't want. Who is this guy? I don't know why I want to.
They don't know you. So it's a catch-22. They don't know you, but they need to know you. So it's for branding purposes. If you look at every New York Times bestseller right now, that is somewhat of a first book or that entry where the author is entering into the marketplace, their face is on the book.
The book.
You just follow it's a formula. Do what they do. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
All right. A little something.
Yep. A little something.
I got you. A little something. Okay. All right. So Valerie, let's watch this first clip, and we're gonna come back and talk about it. So whatever you have, either one of them doesn't matter.
Time is the currency we're playing with in every moment of our lives. It's the center point of our influence. I talk about the roulette table of my life. It's a frame I think through where we wake up in the morning with these 24 chips. If you spend 8 hours sleeping, you wake up with 16 chips left. And how you place those chips on this roulette table that sits in front of us determines all of our outcomes in our lives. So I've chosen now to allocate 2 chips to fitness. The roulette table spins and I get my returns. In the context of time and death and time management, the most important question to answer, the fundamental, is discipline. How can I allocate more of these chips to the things that are in line with my values? Where does this thing called discipline come from? If it underpins everything we do.
Okay, so this thing called discipline, where does that come from? Because he's lining up everything and he looks at his hours of sleep, and he got 16 more hours. He does the workout. But then you got to be disciplined on everything else. And how do you become that? Where's the thing to discipline? And by the way, that's one of my favorite podcasts. I'm gonna list about maybe 8 or 9 on one day. I love that guy. He's in the UK. I think he's the number one podcast in the UK. Wow. But what do you think about that? Where's discipline come from? And where's the thing called discipline? How do you get it? Do you have it?
I think it comes from routine and repetition. So discipline, I believe, is a seed that is sown from motivation, but that seed will not grow unless it is cultivated and nurtured. And so if you're not adding repetition and consistency to that, you won't have it at all. Yeah.
So where are you with that? I mean, seriously, would you say that's one of your challenges, or is that something that you like? Do you have a consistent routine every morning when you wake up? Is it certain things that you do that you make sure that you can, I guess they call it consistently do, whether it's discipline or not, you're consistent with what you're doing? Is it something that you do, a routine?
Yes. So in theory, yes. On paper, yes. In actuality, it's a little bit more challenging for me than it is for others, just because I have 6 other people in my household that I have to manage and that have issues. Somebody's sick or somebody's tired or somebody needs this. So even though I may have a schedule, my schedule is very often irregular. But if I look at not on a day-to-day, but if I look at on a month-to-month or a week-to-week basis, very much so. I very much so. So for me, first thing I wake up, it's going to be prayer, meditation. After that, I'm hitting the gym. After that, I'm coming back, I'm eating, and I'm spending time with kids and family. After that, I'm shower, makeup, get myself ready. After that, I'm sitting at my desk ready to work. And, then I work throughout the day. After that, it's family time. After that, I'm typically knocked out by like 9. Yeah.
So you hit the gym every day?
Yeah, in theory, put it that way,
What,
in theory. So
what
when
does
when
that
my life
mean?
when my life is flowing the way that it's supposed to without all of the travel and some of the other things that have happened recently. But yeah, I'm a 5 to 7 days a week gym kind of girl.
Wow. Free
Yeah.
weights?
Free weights. Yep. I might do a spin class, or I might get on the bike and row, or I might do some other cardio stuff. I may go outside and run on the track, or do some stuff outside. But I am super duper active. Yeah.
I used to run a lot, but my
Hmm.
knees say you can't run now. So I walk the Chattahoochee Trail.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
hey, I get in, like when I walk it, I try to do it 4 days a week, maybe. I get in at least 5 or 6 miles a day. And I
Oh, that's
find
good.
that that's I don't get on the scale.
Hmm.
I don't like scales, but I know my clothes are kind of dropping off of me now. So I think that the walking, I had somebody tell me the other day talking about, she said, you looking like a old young man sagging, your pants sagging. I said, my pants ain't sagging. I got your pants sagging. I said, no,
Hey,
they not. I have a belt on, but that's, I'm slimming down a little bit from those
nah. She was
miles I'm
looking
putting
at she
in.
was looking at your booty. That's what she was.
No, you
What's
what?
the
I
flavor?
had
She
my
was
belt
looking at
on.
your booty.
I had my belt on. I was like, if my pants sagging, what color was my drawers? I
Yep.
don't know. I said my pants were not sagging. I just
That
had,
because she wasn't looking at your pants sagging, she was looking at your booty.
I'm like, I'm like, But I'm telling you that walking for me, I never thought that would be me. But after my knees, and I mean, I saw a guy
Mhm.
running past me one day on the trail, and I'm thinking, how in the world could he be? He either he looks old as I don't know what, or I don't know how he got, because he sure looked 10 times older than
Like,
me. And I'm
how
like,
he run?
this
How
guy
he
was
run?
out here. Yeah, he came by me running. I'm like, wow. So okay. But I gave
Yeah.
up on that. I still do weights. I kind of man, not kind of. First of all, I had a torn rotator cuff that I didn't
Oh,
want to
wow.
have surgery on. I didn't want to get worked on. And so it's gotten real bad to a point where I went to the doctor a month ago, and he's like, you got to replace that shoulder. I'm like, man,
Mm,
he said, well, just go with it until it can't hurt anymore. He said, I wouldn't go no
mhm.
longer than 2 years, but you don't have to
Dang.
get it right away. But I'm like, he showed me, the how something like it wasn't no bone there or something. He showed. I'm like, wow. I can still move and do good. I just don't do I'm telling you what happened. What did that was trying to do pull-ups. And that will
Oh,
people who could do pull-ups, you bad. If you could do 10,
I
20,
know.
yeah, that's beast, man.
That's my
That is
goal for
that's
this
beast.
year. My goal this year is
Really?
a hundred push-ups and 100 pull-ups.
100 pull-ups when? Like in the whole year? Or you talking about
Like, to be able to do it, to be able to do
a
100.
100 pull-ups at one time?
Not like back, if I could do it back to
Man,
back, but I feel like it would be
that,
maybe sets of 10,
I
but
got you.
I have
Yeah,
not been
that's
forever.
yeah, that's David Goggins thing. He's like,
Mm,
you follow David Goggins?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he goes, do as many as you can, 10, 12, 15, stop.
Mhm,
Then do as many as you can again, 5 more. Then do as many as you can again, 2 more. And you just
mhm,
keep going until you can't do it anymore. But I ain't touching
yeah.
the pull-ups no more. I'll let y'all do that. I'm
I
not doing
want it. I want it. I also want bar dips. So when
it.
you
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I want those.
I'm
I
gonna
want
tell you
those back.
something. Even in high school, we had for football, and when off season at 2 o'clock we would go to the weight room for an
Mhm.
hour, and do bar dips and weights.
Yeah.
And they used to trip on me because at 2:00, because the coach went in there, we supposed to do it on our own. I used to sneak out, go home. I'm at home watching General Hospital.
What? What?
I hate doing bar dips. I mean, I just hated that with a passion. You know, everybody was getting their 250 shirt where they was benching 250. I wasn't doing none of that. I swear I hated bar dips.
Oh my gosh.
Then they love to do that kind of bar dips. I don't.
Now, I've been lifting weights since I was like in the 10th grade. I was the only girl in the weight room in this stinking locker room with y'all stinking football players. Just stank.
Really?
Yes. But I've been lifting weights since the 10th grade. I loved it. And I always wanted to be super strong. Like if I was honest about what I want, I kind of want to do figure. I really wanted to do bodybuilding.
Okay. But what happened?
Discipline.
Come
on, discipline.
I think you got married. You got married and started having babies. So
I did. Yep. I had the body for it. I feel like I still have the frame for it. I just don't have the discipline to do right just yet.
You say you're 5'8", right?
I am.
Okay, so what was your thinnest weight at 5'8"?
130.
Okay.
130,
that's like model. That's like model. No, model was like 110 or something. Like the models are real thin, I think.
I had probably maybe 5% body fat at that time.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
And that was discipline, working out and all that kind of stuff.
A little bit of both. And I had gotten sick. So a lot of the weight dropped off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Val, let's play that last clip and we talk about that.
There's a lot of leaders who are plagued by this, which is we have to do it. Why do we have to do it? Because look how much time and money we've invested.
There's a psychological bias, which I wrote about. Elliot Aronson, the psychologist, the American psychologist, one of my favorite. They got a group of people and they put them into a very boring book club. Very, very boring. Everyone in there was purposefully, intentionally dull. And then they asked them how good the book club was. And they all gave a score. So these people that were put into there. Then they got another group of people and they made them go through a rigorous testing process and surveys to get into the book club. The people that had done the rigorous testing and surveys and applications to get into the book club, even though it was dull and boring, reported that the book club was amazing and was much better than the people that hadn't fought to get in there. And it speaks to this kind of like sunk cost idea that leaders have, where just because we've worked hard on something, they trick themselves into believing that it is good. And then it must be good. It's a psychological bias.
So you spend a lot of money, you work hard, you do all these things, maybe to get into this college. You get accepted, you'll get accepted as a sorority member or a fraternity, and then you say, oh, this is great. But do you really feel that way? Or do you, or is it because you went through all of that pain and suffering to get there? Now, because the same people who said the book club was boring, because they had to pass a test, get accepted, get approved, go through all the work to get back in that book club, now all of a sudden, they like it. It's great. So do you see yourself, or do you see people that, it's the same thing. Like, okay, you spend a lot of money to become a doctor, but then you don't even like being a doctor. But you wind up staying there because you did all that work to get there. What do you think about that? Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.
More than